don't know love is right. Oh, she don't know love. Love is far away from the pain that I see in her eyes. But all of that would change when she's mine. It's not she don't want love, she just can't accept love, 'cause I'm having with love that's keeping her from love. Maybe an ex-lover, or could be a father. I don't know, all I can tell how she relates to me. But I would give all of my heart if she would just believe. She don't know love, I love you. And she don't know love is right here. Oh, she don't know love, I love you. Love is far away from the pain that I see in her eyes. But all of that would change when she's mine. It's more than sexual, I'm a reflection of the feeling that's in your soul. It's more than magical, girl, let me take you on a journey that you should know. Don't let the pain from your past keep you from what you're looking for. I promise to give all my heart, I'm the one that you adore. She don't know. Can you tell when a real man will wanna love you and protect your heart? Don't let your pain destroy love's far away from the pain that I see in her eyes. But all of that would change when she's mine. I can't let you go.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And good morning, YouTube. Good morning, sunshines. It's early today. Well, I wake up early. I've been up since like 3:30. It's just except yesterday. Oh, y'all, I had so much fun on Friday. I might tell y'all about it. Hey, beautiful Shalom. Thank you for being here, beautiful. Oh my goodness. I don't go out very often just because I am really a creature of habit in my older age. It actually, you know what? Like if I think back, it kind of started in my mid 20s. I just got tired of like going to the clubs and all that stuff. It didn't excite me very much anymore. So I started kind of changing all of that behavior mid 20s. But like now, I'm good. I go to work, I get off, I come home, I take a shower, I go to bed. Like literally, that does not bother me. But there is still like a need for my energy. Like I got a certain energy. I'm a Gemini, so like I get to dwell in a lot of different energetic spaces just because I don't know how much I really believe in all the astrology stuff, but I let myself play around in that. So if I do believe in the astrology stuff, which I kind of do, kind of don't, it is what it is. I get to, like my Gemini energies be everywhere sometimes. And so I have a friend that I've known for like we figured that it's been at least 25 years we've known each other. And he hit me up Friday. He was like, "What you doing?" I was like, probably I'll be sleep soon. Like it's getting that time. It was like 7 o'clock. He was like, "Oh, when we going out?" I was like, "Whenever you ask me, like I ain't calling you to go out." So he was like, "Well, let's hit the road." So man, I had so much fun Friday. OMG. It was like the good old days, but as a grown up, if that makes sense. I got to I got to indulge a little bit. I had a couple of drinks and then I got to ballroom dance. Y'all, I haven't ballroom danced in like I think it's been at least 10 years, honestly, since I like really got my good ballroom on, and he is really, really good. So he had to get me together at the very beginning. When I tell you we danced, oh my insides, I was just so happy. Like just happy. And so he hangs out at like these, we call them hole in the walls. Y'all go to hole in the walls. I love a good hole in the wall. It is not the popular place. It's a place that it don't even have a sign on the door. It's just a place that people just know about and they just show up. So we went to the little hole in the wall. Man, life was given. But now that I'm older, I understand his energy and my energy. We have really good chemistry. Like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But no. So we left it on the dance floor. Oh, it was the best. And he was texting me yesterday, like, you want to see me. I was like, no, I don't. I understand the energy and I understand our cycle. And this is part of our cycle. It'll be 5-10 years and then here we come. Like, what you doing? What you doing? I ain't doing nothing. I ain't doing nothing either. Let's do something together. No, not this time. I enjoyed myself. Thank you for getting me out the house. But no, I'm looking for something different now. Anywho, I had a ball. All right. So if you are new to my channel, my name is Organized Chaos. It is early Sunday morning. I come to you with peace, love, all of the blessings in the world, and just trying to elevate us as people, as human beings. And there is a part of me, because I've been on my DNA wanting to, make sure that I leave some type of legacy other than money and other than things. I want to leave my future self, my future generations, and other humans just a way to get out of yourself. You are a being, you are a human being, but we have to focus on the being part more than the human part. And our society really does condition us to focus on the human part of our humanness. And I'm learning as I grow and get older and mature a little bit. I'm still a little kid. Look at my whole rugrats. I'm a little kid at heart. That's why I love what I do. I love the work that I get to do. The kids do keep you young when you are doing what I do. But like, I'm still not a kid anymore. I'm a whole grown up. And so I'm learning to focus on the being part, which is what kept me away from the things that I used to do in my human flesh with my old friend, because I'm being right now and I understand our energy. I understand his energy and I needed it. I needed his energy. I needed to get out the house. I needed to do something different, break up my little boring routine. But I know our cycle. And since I have a clear picture of who we are after 25 years of hanging around each other off and on, doing our thing, nope, nope, nope. That story never ends in our favor, at least not in mine. So no, I'm good on that. All right. Hey, beautiful. Shalom. Love the music, aesthetics, and vibe. Thank you. Skin. Thank you, child. This is a good DNA genetics. This ain't got nothing to do with what I do. I can't give I don't do nothing special. I can tell you what I use. My allergies, though, like my eyes watering. That's why I can't wear makeup, because I be in my face all day, digging in my eyes, and my nose runs all day from the allergies. But literally, my skin routine is some basic. I use lotion and soap called Purpose. It really is just, it has no chemicals or anything in it. It's made by Johnson and Johnson. It's called Purpose. I use the skin soap. I wash my face twice a day, in the morning, at night before I go to bed. And then I use the Purpose SPF. I forget the SPF. It might be 15. I use that as skin lotion. And maybe a year or so ago, because as I get older and my mom has bags and my dad has bags, I mean, they are like almost 80 and mid 80 years old. But our family has like bags. So the bags be bagging under here. And I can tell like mine are starting to bag like right here. So I use I can't think of the name of it, but it's like a clear, I put it on a brush and I kind of brush like here just to kind of activate so the bags don't bag. And then I do it right here because my smile and or frown lines are becoming really prominent in my older age. So I do give like a little care to those two spaces. But other than that, I really don't wear makeup. I'm not good. It costs too much. I like shoes. If I got to pick between makeup and shoes, I'm going with shoes. Shoes, it's the shoes for me. And I like clothes. I got a closet full of clothes. And because I fluctuate in my sizes, you know, have to keep a variety of 6s, 8s. I can't do 10s, but my 6s and the 8s keep me, doing what I do. So yeah, shoes and clothes. I'm not doing makeup. And now that I got locks, I get my hair locked. I get it done like this is the most care that I've done for my hair these past 2 years, getting it locked. I never went to the beauty salon, really, like for real. I could do my hair myself, because when I go to except when I was a teenager, I was a little, I had to go get my hair done every 2 weeks as a teenager. But when I got older, I wasn't doing all that hair maintenance stuff. But my locks, I get my hair done every 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. I think 7 is the longest I've been. 8 weeks, the fuzz, I can't take the fuzz. So I do get my hair redone every 6 weeks. But other than that, thank you. Hey, we on lock. It has been a while. How have you been? Yes, we still in the D. That's where I live. Duh, that's what we do. Yeah. So, and sipping on my little homemade medicine ball is what I do every day. Love shoes, hair, nice surroundings, putting money into my home, and traveling. Oh, traveling is my thing. I am a solo traveler too. I have been to Aruba by myself. I've been to Jamaica by myself. I've been to, where else have I been by myself? I didn't go to Costa Rica by myself. I hung out with a friend in Costa Rica. I've been to Mexico like 3 or 4 times by myself. I remember it was a guy in the airport. He realized I was by myself and he was with a girl. And he had the nerve to say, "Oh my God." Like, I overheard him talking to her. Like, I can't believe she here by herself. I was like, I wouldn't tell my girl that. I wouldn't say that out loud if I was you, because that makes you look like a little punk. Just saying. But yeah, I do. I travel a lot by myself. And then like in state, I go wherever I want to go. I go to Florida. I go to Chicago. Like I try. The reason that I travel by myself is because I used to try to travel with like good girlfriends. And then it's always money, or they can't get their schedules together, or like, I ain't got time. We only get one life, honestly. And so if you sit around waiting on people, I don't have a husband. I'm single. I'm not waiting on a man to want to travel and hang out with me. And then I'm not traveling with a man that I'm not really like that with, because I get irritated real easy. And then I don't want to be bothered. And then if we got a room together, now I got to go get my own room because I don't feel like being around you no more. I just don't have time for that. I don't. And then if I want to play the same song 30 times, I don't need nobody complaining about what I'm doing when I'm on vacation, because my vacations consist of maybe a whole lot of stuff or maybe a whole lot of nothing. So leave me alone. I don't feel like compromising this piece that I've found for a week by having to cater to you. You're not my husband. I don't owe you shit. I probably helped pay for this trip. So no, I don't have that submissive nature running through my bones right now, because I don't have to. So it just is what it ain't. Now, would I like to have that submissive nature? I would. Like, I'm a woman. I can be soft. I can be submissive. But I'm not just going to be submissive with everybody. That's what kills me about some of these manosphere spaces when they talk about women being submissive. I'm not your wife. What am I submitting to? A buster? A clown? Somebody that don't even know who he is? Somebody that don't know who God is? You ain't been tested by this fire? No, God, I'm not being submissive to somebody that I'm dating. Because all you doing when you dating people is hanging out with their representative self. You're not hanging out with who they really are. And then I've been through enough and know enough that men lie, women lie, we all lie. We're liars by nature. You really don't know who somebody is until you do. And by the end, that's probably too late. You kind of stuck. And since I ain't stuck, shit, I'll be by myself. I do. That's why it don't bother me to be home doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because I know I bank my money. When it's time for me to travel, I'm going where I want to go. I'm doing what I want to do. And I ain't worried about it. So yeah, your son wants locks. Let him get them. One thing about hair, it grows back, right? Like, if I don't want to do locks no more, I could probably try to take these out. My locks, because of my hair type, they're like butterfly locks. They're not like the regular type. Well, and I'm learning this. There's no regular locks. Everybody's hair locks differently. It does different things. Your locks might not look like somebody else's. So let me circle that back. These are how my locks locked. They did the butterfly thing lock. And so they finally dropped and they're getting longer. My hair was probably down to here when I locked it, and then it shrunk up as it locked, and I was finally falling back down. So this is 2 years of lock, and I get it retwisted like every 6 weeks. I don't retwist it myself. And the reason that I don't retwist it myself, I know some people do. I don't retwist mine myself because I like my parts. Like the parts, I like the parts to be like, it's like art to me. I like my hair to be symmetrical, and yeah, it's just a thing. It's just a little bit of OCD that I have. So it's just my preference. And you can do your own preference with locks. Like, you could do it. You really could do it yourself. I think I tried to redo it myself one time. I was pushing 7 weeks and I didn't like the fuzzy. And I had about another week before I was getting it retwisted. And my retwist didn't stay stuck. And so after that, after an hour, took me a couple hours to do what she could do in like an hour. I was like, girl, listen, that's what you pay for convenience. This is one of my new conveniences. I need somebody else to do my locks. It just is what it is. See, beautiful Shalom. Every time you come here, I'm never able to do what I'm supposed to do. It's been 20 minutes, and here I am talking about stuff other than reading this long chapter. I'm not even going to finish this chapter today because it's so long. I realized that. I already sectioned it off. Girl, yeah, I went to Mexico by myself. You scared? Girl, they only kidnap you if you go to the non-resort areas. I'm not going to Mexico and staying in no Airbnb or no Verbo. I go to Mexico, I get on the shuttle to my hotel, and I stay on campus. I don't leave campus when I go to Mexico. No, God, I'm not getting in a regular taxi in Mexico. I'm getting in that thing that I prepaid for. I'm going right to campus where security resides, and I'm going to stay right there. I'm a workout on campus. I'm doing my thing on campus. I'm not trying to be cheap in Mexico. I'm spending coins for safety reasons. I'm not staying in no neighborhoods. I'm not staying where the Crips, whatever the Mexican Crips and Bloods are. I'm not going to where they reside. I'm going to the tourist area. Yeah. That's it. That's all. Now in Aruba, I did some research on Aruba before I went to Aruba, and I knew that it was like a really safe space for single Black women, single Black people in general. And I did stay in like a local area in Aruba. And I felt the only time I didn't feel safe in Aruba was because some little dogs were loose and they came up while I was getting my walk on. I walk a lot when I leave town, and when it's sunny. I can walk for hours. And so these dogs came up to me. I didn't run because I knew if I ran, they probably would have ran and chased me and bit me. So I had to keep it together. And they just was barking at me. And I was just like, Lord, please don't let these dogs bite me. Please don't let these dogs bite me. And I just kept walking. I didn't look at them. I didn't make eye contact. I just kept walking. That was like the scariest experience I've had as a single traveler. Literally, dogs barking at me because they was not chained up. And it's a lot of loose dogs in Aruba where I stayed at. All right. I have the same mindset. That's why I don't do girls trips. Yeah, I don't have time. I don't. I will with my best friend. Me and my best friend have a ball when we hang out and go out together. We are kind of like one and the same. And she know when she gets sick of me, and I know when I get sick of her, we go into our respective rooms and be like, okay, I'll see you later for dinner. Because we're besties. Like, and she a Gemini too. So it'd be like, girl, your energy is doing its thing right now. I'll talk to you in a little bit. Get your mind right. And we talk to each other very clearly. I respect her. Yep, hubby and the kids. I ain't gonna be talking about my hubby experience, child. My hubby used to try to make drama. Girl, listen. Anyway, I don't talk about that man. I'm still trying to see. I told y'all he got a beer belly now. He pushed a 60, 58. I still ain't seen his head without a baseball cap. I'm gonna tell y'all about it at graduation though. Graduation is coming. My boogaloo is graduating, y'all. He's going to his girlfriend's prom next weekend, I think. I ain't gonna even talk about his little girlfriend. I met her one time. He don't want me to meet his girlfriend. I don't know why. Everybody else that met the girlfriend, I only met her one time. He be going on trips with her. He know her family. Her family ain't never met me, which I think is really weird. You be letting this little boy hang out overnight with your daughter and you ain't met his mama? That's weird, but you know, I guess. And he's a boy, so I'm different. And my daughter wasn't. My daughter is a better version of me, flat out. Like, she is. But her version is like, she's still a homebody. She's still a mama's child. She's still like, girl, I ain't doing nothing or going nowhere. And my son is me. So I know I have to give him his space because my mama gave me mine to a certain degree. I was still a girl. So she still was like, girl, you can't be out all night. Like, ain't nothing open at night but legs. I was like, girl, yeah, mine was okay. But no. So I give him his space. I'm letting him be the grown up that he thinks he is. But he need me to pay for his prom suit. We ordered it, but he needs me to finish paying for it. And he wants some Louboutin silver and white shoes that he ain't gonna never wear again. And them shoes is expensive. But it's prom. I know who I am and I know who he is. So I'm gonna get this little boy these shoes. But listen, he ain't did what he was supposed to do in school. And so I'm just waiting. He was like, well, her prom is next weekend. I ain't got nothing to do with her prom. Now, I know y'all gonna be cute. I know y'all want to dress alike. I know it's important, but what's important to me is I asked you to finish that homework. I ain't argued about you being out all night. I ain't argued about you not coming home sometimes. I ain't argued about you not cleaning up after yourself. I'm keeping it positive in my house because I want to have a good relationship with my grown-up children. And I had to do some work on that because I went through some things during spring break. Beautiful. When you emailed me, I think I told you I had to do some for real. I had to channel all of my Eckhart Tolle and reset my relationship with my boy, because it was about to be ugly up in here. And I was like, okay, it's not about you. You created this human being. Hopefully you put enough in him that he's going to be just fine. And you got to let him do his thing. Because if you don't, you will not have a good relationship with your son. So I just did that work. And so I got to a peaceful place. But what I will not do is spend all of this money and you ain't finished your schoolwork. You've been in school, this part of school, since January, and you behind on assignments. That's a clear line in the sand. So he trying to renegotiate the deal about his work. Nope. I'm holding firm. This one, I had to negotiate all of the other stuff. This one, no negotiation. It is what it is. But mine, nope. No. And he got good credit. I did make sure he had good credit when he turned 18. I added him to some of my credit cards. So he got a credit card. He could go do it. He don't want to, though. He want me to pay for it. And I'm going to pay for it. But I'm not going to pay for it before you produce what I need you to produce. Flat out. So he's been trying to get it together over these last couple of days. So we'll see if he get it together this week. Because if he want me to pay for these shoes this week, I need you to finish your work in advance. He got 6 classes. I only need him to pass 2. So 2 out of the 6, you still can't get it together? No, I won't compromise this position. We can fall out about this if we want to. I'm cool with that. You are not going to shut up, beautiful. Girl, it's almost 30 minutes into this live and we still over here talking. Thank you. He's scared mama gonna bring the pressure. He is. And he done probably told her a bunch of stuff about me that's not necessarily true. I mean, and so the one time that I did meet her, it was at this restaurant that he works at. They had like a family and friends night. So I met her. They were ending their date. And I was coming in about to hang out with my bestie. And I think he had told her I was like mean or something. And I said, well, if she has any intelligence, she should know that that doesn't make any sense, right? She knows that I work with kids every single day. Literally, I work with babies through 8th graders. So if I was so mean, how would I be able to work with children every single day? So like, I hope she got some sense. I hope she's not just a dingbat. Like, but he might want that right now because I challenge him a lot. And that's another thing. Like sometimes boys will marry women like their mother or be with women like their mother, or they'll go the opposite way. I'm very challenging. My son is very intellectually motivated because I push him intellectually. You're not going to, and I know when he lying. Like I gave birth to you. I know who you are. So when he tell me stories and I just sit there and stare at him, he'd be like, all right, okay. I know you're not buying what I'm selling. I'd be like, dude, stop. Just stop. But if she buys what he's selling, or if he might like that right now, because I get on his nerves. So just saying. Girl, I need you going through it with my son. Child, welcome to the club. From the age of, I'll say this about my son. Let me finish reading it. He said, I'm stern and doesn't want anyone to take me the wrong way. It's true. You should be stern. You should have standards. And he needs to learn that because it'll help him have standards. The one thing that I will think about my son right now, and I'll share a little bit about our growth and experience together, is he has a clearer picture today than he did when he was 13, 14, when his dad came back into his life, right? So my son was like always challenging behaviorally growing up because he didn't have a relationship with his dad from the time we got divorced when he was 2 years old. And then he would come around periodically from like 2 to 7. And at 7, he just disappeared from my son's life. Just vanished. And then he came back into the picture when he was about 13, 14 years old. And when he came back, so like he had challenging behavior, but he was really good in school and he would keep his room clean. But his behavior was challenging. He got me in him and he got his daddy in him. So I don't blame his daddy for his challenging behavior. It's both of us. We made this little boy and it is what it is, right? So I know who I am. I knew who his dad was. And so I would just see the characteristics and I would nurture it. I put him in therapy. He acted a monkey with the therapist. Him and my daughter, they would play the therapist like a fiddle. So that didn't even work at a young age. So, but when my ex-husband came back when my son was about 13, 14 years old, it was like a volcano erupted in my house. And every time he would come back home, I would have to deprogram him. And my ex, I think I shared this already. He still resides in the 31, 32-year-old version of me that he thought I was. And he also resided in the 24-year-old version of me that he met. So he would create this image of me from 24 to 32-ish when we were together and share that with my son. Whatever he thought that was of me, that's what he would tell my son. And whatever image he could paint of me, that is the image that he would share with because I'm moving into my 40s. That's the image that he would share with my 13, 14-year-old son. And so now that my son is 18, his vision is becoming clearer about who his father is, what his father says to him, and who I am, right? Like, and that's hard because I want to fight back. I want to be verbally abusive to towards my ex too, but I know that's not going to help. So I just have to take it. And that's hard. Like, that's hard to have to let somebody verbally crucify you who don't even know you no more. And they are still holding on to the old version of you and sharing that version with your child, right? Like, and my child really wanted a relationship with his dad. So he's caught in between who's right, who's wrong. I know who I see my mom is, but if she was this bad, like, oh my goodness. So, he had to figure it out. And now that he's figuring it out, he really is maturing. He really is seeing not just me for who I am as a human being. It's really nice. I'll share this beautiful when your children can see you not as this mother that they put on a pedestal, because they do. And it's not their fault. It just is what it is. But they can see you as a whole human being. And like, flawed and all, I can only give you what I have to give you. I can't be this version of a mother that you want me to be. I can only be the mother that I am, right? And I can only do what I have in me to do. For good, for better, or for worse, this is what I bring to you. This is who I am. And as moms, we have to not try to be perfect images for our kids, because that's why they put us on those pedestals. And when you start being real and keeping it real with your kids, it helps them. It really does. And it's hard. I think it was hard for my son to see me as a human being. Like, he didn't want that. He didn't want to see that. But now we good. He just wants these shoes. Girl, he just wants these shoes. And he want me to finish paying for prom. And I got him. I told him, I got you. But you gotta do your part too. And it's a lot of stuff that I don't demand of you. But this graduating and me knowing and having the evidence, it's just really important to me. I do evidence in my old age. I keep stories. That's why I was able to correctly navigate hanging out with my old friend the other day. Like, I have the evidence of 25 years of knowing you, that no, we can hang out to this degree, but it got to stop right there. We're going to leave this right here on this dance floor at this club. We're not going no further, because I know this story. I know this chapter. I've read this chapter with you several times throughout these 25 years. So no. So my son has to have evidence. Plus I'm about to be a Dr. Organized Chaos up in here. I registered for school. Beautiful. I've been doing, I got a prerequisite that I have to take as a course. I was going to start May 1st, but child, I didn't have the money for all of that to start May 1st. And I'm going to apply for scholarships. My advisor told me, she was like, listen, I'm on the scholarship committee. We don't have enough people that apply for scholarships. I was like, girl, I'm picking up all the hints. I did my FAFSA this week. It was accepted by the government. And nope, I'm not doing loans because I just got cleared of all my past student loans, but I will be applying for scholarships. And if I have to pay out of pocket, I'll work it out. But I just couldn't pay with having to pay for prime right now. So I'll be starting school at the end of June. So I'll be in summer 2. So the end of June through the beginning of the end of July. It's a short course. So I'll be taking that. And then by the year, if I do 2 courses a semester, I will be Dr. Organized Key in the year of 2026. So we are in Operation Doctor mode right now. 2026, class of 2026, summer 2026. I'll be a PhD. That's my goal. I want to be Dr. Key before I pass away. Because I am on the other side of that mountaintop. Yes, he's graduating. I'm so excited. I'm so ready. I'm going to learn through you because these kids, man, listen, it's something to navigate. Thank you. I appreciate it. Mean. Yeah, you have to have I'm going to tell you what mean means. Rephrase that. Take note ish. Your meanness, you let him know you have standards. As a mom, you have to have standards for yourself and for your children so that they can learn to have standards for themselves and for the rest of the world that they are about to grow into. Because if we don't teach our kids to have standards, the world is going to eat them alive. We need to teach standards, right? Like I cannot take mess. But if I don't, what is my standard for not taking mess? What is my standard for not being abused? It's just a standard. You're not going to talk to me any kind of way. You can be honest with me, but please be respectful with me. If we make an agreement and you don't hold up the end of your agreement, don't be mad because you didn't meet the standard. I don't renegotiate agreements. When I go to sign this mortgage, they're not about to renegotiate that with me. That payment was due every 30 days. We got to have the same standards for our children and for the people that we interact with in life, like just in general. And your standards will keep you out of a whole bunch of shit out here. I have a standard when I get a hotel room. If they don't meet the standard, I'm not staying there. I have a standard when I go get a car. I have a standard when I go to work. I had to have a standard as a teacher in the classroom. I had to show standards on the board when I taught kids. What you gonna learn? Let me show you what you're gonna learn. And if I don't meet the standard, I need to know because then I need to reteach this assignment. We didn't meet the standard. Y'all didn't get it. I need to do something differently. Just because I have a standard, I got to show you how to get there. I got to help you get there. I'm going to help you get there, son. The standard was out of 6 classes, I only need you to pass these 2. And you ain't doing that. Why do I need to take out my credit card and get these $1,000 shoes for you? I don't. You didn't meet the standard. And it was a really low standard. 2 out of 6. I'm not even asking you to get the 50%, dude. No. Standards. Too much pressure. Good for you. I was telling my husband about you and your loans and the heart monitor. Girl, I still got this thing on. Still, we are on day 17 of 29. So I got to wear it for 17 more days. No, I've been wearing it for 17 days. I got to wear it for 12 more days. When I went to hang out with my friend the other day, he was like, what you got in your pocket, a beeper? I was like, no, child, you know, we getting old up in here. Your girl got on a heart monitor. I was cute as a button with a heart monitor in my pocket, hanging out, drinking, and at the club ballroom dancing. Child, don't let that heart monitor stop you. This ain't nothing but making sure we dotting I's and crossing T's. And we're going to try to keep this avatar alive and doing its thing for as long as we can. That's our goal. Health maintenance is important, especially Black women, especially Black men, Black people in general. They don't do us right when we go to the hospital because they believe we have this really high threshold for pain and tolerance. Black women, you already know. I saw you on live the other day. I didn't see you live. I saw your replay, beautiful, about mortality rate for women having children. Yes, it's high. Serena, one of the big ones, Serena Williams talked about her experience when she had her child. Like, it's just real out here. And so even though my doctor was like, I don't think anything's wrong with you, I think your heart is fine, I appreciate it. And he wasn't even a Black doctor, he was a white doctor. I appreciated that he was like, but we gonna make sure. Thank you. Because so many times they blow us off and be like, oh, you good. You don't need nothing. And then 2 weeks later, our family is out here having heart attacks, dying. When all you had to do was be inconvenienced for 29 days and wear a heart monitor just to make sure, and it could have caught something that could have kept you alive. Stop it, y'all. Stop it. Be inconvenienced. Walk around with your little beeper thing on in your pocket and do what you got to do. Keep living life, but take care of yourself. Get those yearly checkups. Let me tell you something. Go to the dentist. Y'all not taking care of y'all teeth. Your teeth is the gateway to the rest of your body. Your teeth will have diseases. I still have all my teeth. I don't have no wood to knock off, but yes, these are mine. And so I do got a couple of caps and, all of those things. But when I went in to get my latest cleaning, she said I have like some type of gum disease. And she said, if I don't maintain it or manage it, it can get worse and my bone will get exposed and then I won't have all my teeth. So she put me on this regimen of, it's called Therastime mouthwash. I have to rinse twice a day, once in the morning, once at night. And then I have to use medicated toothpaste. I don't know what it's going to do. So I go back in June so she can double check and make sure. But yeah, so I use medicated mouthwash and I use medicated toothpaste, trying to keep these things together. Like, your body just starts falling apart when you get older. It just is what it is. Your body starts falling apart when you're born, but you know what I'm saying? It's evident when you get older. God brought me to your channel for a reason. Everything happens exactly the way that it's supposed to happen for a reason, like flat out. And I'll say this, and like, I really believe this because my friend the other day asked me if I had any regrets, like probably talking about like our past interactions, our non-existent relationship and the things that we did together. And I'm like, no, like, why would I regret anything about my life? It all helped me be who I am today. So even the things that I didn't enjoy about my experience on earth, even the things that caused me pain, it all helped me be who I am today. It all grew me. Like, all the stuff that I just wish God would take away from me, when I look back at my life, I'm like, you know what? I will pick up my pain any day of the week before I look at anybody else's life and want theirs, because I was able to navigate it. Sometimes successfully, sometimes it wasn't as successful, but I got through it. However, I had to get through it, and it grew me into what you see today, into who I am when I come on YouTube. Even my little mess, I was in a flop when I first got here, and the people at my job didn't like what I was doing on YouTube, and they was looking for me and coming after me. It all grew me to where I am today. So I don't come on YouTube for clicks and views. I don't come on YouTube to be popular or any of that. I come here to create a space, to create a place where hopefully I and others can elevate. And I come on here to leave a legacy. Again, I'm not trying to leave. I will leave a legacy of financial gain, but that's not even guaranteed. Look at Alex Murdaugh and his foolishness that he left. Like, when we talk about generational wealth, like, that's everybody's thing. Oh, I'm leaving money. I'm leaving money. You got to leave your kids something else. You got to leave substance other than money, which is fake. If I never knew that money was something that really wasn't real, it is to get close to $500,000 of student loan debt forgiven. Like that. Money is not real, y'all. We got to look beyond finances. It is, as simple to P will say, what is it, like dead hypocrites, paper with dead hypocrites on it? That's all it is. That's all money is. Stop focusing on money. Money will come to you. I've never worried about money. When I got laid off, I didn't worry about money. When I was in the thick of how am I going to pay this and do that and move around and do this, I never worried about money. When I fell out with my brother about money, I just paid my brother back after 6 months, and he probably thought it was going to take me 6 years. I never, ever, it comes, it goes. I spend it. I'm getting off this live to go spend some today. I got some shopping to do. I don't worry about it. I just don't, because it's not real. It is a part of this world that we have to use as a tool to get through. But to focus on it and focus on, I'm leaving so my future don't have to. If your kids don't have to struggle for nothing, if your kids don't have to figure out nothing, what are they made of? To be a diamond in this world, you got to get cut. To be gold in this world, you got to go through fire. Your kids going to have to go through something. Help them, give them wisdom, let them learn. They still might mess up, but at least if you put some seeds in them, some knowledge and some wisdom, they can tap into that as they go through whatever they're going to go through. That's what got me through. My big mama, my granny, my daddy's stories, all of that helped me navigate my la of life. And it kept me safe. It didn't stop me from going through it. It didn't stop the sword from coming out trying to get me. It did. But no weapon formed shall prosper. It's going to form. It didn't say the weapon wasn't going to form. It said it wasn't going to prosper. And that's facts. Because you got to have that word in you. You got to have that wisdom in you. You got to have that growth mindset in you. You don't let it take you out. You let it help you. Those scars, they will heal, but they're there to remind you of what you went through. And after 47 minutes, beautiful, here we are. This is about to be another. I'm about to change the title because I didn't get to read the book today. And this was a good one too. Role playing, the many faces of the ego. I got the book right here. I even got my little sticky notes to stop me from going further. But yet here we are, beautiful. 48 minutes later. I tell they butts and they daddy. My husband swears I'm extra. I'm aware of my worth and how and where I want to exist. Amen. Amen. And I saw your picture of you and your hubby. Y'all are such a cute couple. Shout out to your man for growing with you, because that's not always guaranteed, beautiful. You can marry somebody that you can see something in. Like I saw something in my ex-husband, but he didn't. And we just didn't grow together. And he stayed stuck. And I was like, dude, I don't do repetitive cycles. I knew at a younger age what that looked like and what that meant. And now that I'm a little bit older and more refined, that's why I let old boy know the other day, like, dude, I like this energy that you bringing me while we out here rolling around, ballroom dancing, having drinks, having good old time memories. But I also know what happens after the morning after. Hey, no. I'm not repeating that part of this story with you. I know what that's like, because that's going to go down, and then I'm going to get in my feelings about something, and then it ain't going to matter to you, and then we're going to stop talking to each other for another decade if we live that long. Like, we too old to be going through this. So shout out to your husband. Like, that is a testimony in and of itself. Y'all got a story to tell. Y'all got to do some YouTubes together about y'all growth together. Like, that's just not everybody's story, right? And some women will stay with that man that doesn't grow with them and just deal with the foolishness. I just couldn't. And I tried to. Like, listen, let me tell you how bad it got. I gave my husband a pass to cheat on me, beautiful. I told my husband, as long as you wear a condom and as long as you don't bring me home no diseases and babies. I feel like I was in a Wendy Williams phase. As long as you don't bring home no diseases or no kids, We can do this. I loved him that much. I loved him that much. Child. And I meant it then. I would never do something like no. And I'll say this too. Everybody don't want to be in a monogamous relationship. There are women that know that their husband cheat and they're okay with that. Everybody's relationships looks differently. Who am I to judge your arrangement or your agreement with your man? It just wasn't for me. I tried it. That didn't work. He couldn't even, this man couldn't even agree to that. Well, he agreed to it. He just couldn't hold up that standard. Wear a condom, come home before 3, and don't bring home no babies. I had 3 things. Come home before 3 a.m., wear a condom, and don't bring home babies. Those were my 3 agreements. Nope. He couldn't do that much, child. Amen to the standard. Yep. Yes, health maintenance. Sleeping with this mess. I've been wearing a hoodie every day to hold it. I wear so I don't know how yours is. So mine is on this long, like this cord, and then the nodes are attached here and here. I sent you that picture. So I got like the black and the red and the white and the green on one side. And so then you hit it and it says monitoring. I just wear pants. I wear pants and then I hook it onto the pocket. I turn it this way and then I clip it into the pocket of the pants. And at work, I feel like, so the building that I work in, we don't have real good Wi-Fi or reception. I don't think it works half the time I'm at work. I think that's why they make you wear it for so many days, because you probably not going to get consistent data every day, depending on like what you're doing and where you at. So I wear it. If it work, it work. If it don't, it don't. But yeah. God ordained our marriage. The growing pains get real, but we do the work. To God be the glory. Amen. Y'all got a story to tell. It's beautiful. I love it. You don't think you may be overlooking something. What you talking about? Overlooking something like what? What are we talking about? I don't know what I was talking about when you wrote that comment. Remind me, please. Refresh my memory. Child, I don't know. I'm gonna start reading this book after you answer. What might I be overlooking with what? Let me see. I was talking about my ex. Oh, the hanging out at the club. My ballroom buddy. Nah, I'm not overlooking nothing. Nope. He so his energy is like that of a gypsy. He has my gypsy energy spirit that resides in me, but I'm just very grounded. Like I know that energy exists within me and I tap into it every now and then. He's like that all the time though. And it's just not like a long-term energy. It really is a short-term. I'll say this. So when we went to the hole in the wall, I don't think he really takes women to this spot. This is like one of his spots. And so he took me to his little spot and like the energy was real. Like I'm sure everybody in the club that knows him was like, who is that? Where'd she come from? And then when we got on the dance floor and when we got off the dance floor, the barmaid was like, I ain't never seen you dance like that. And he was just like, yeah, y'all don't know me. Y'all don't know me like that. And we bring that out. Like, I'm a dancer. And so, like, and then I know how to ballroom, but sometimes following is like something that I have to work on because I'm a dance teacher. Like, I teach dance and like, I be like, and then, after a couple drinks and then you turn around and see yourself in that mirror, girl, I be like, oh, girl, we is out here doing our thing. And I did get lost a couple times. He was like, when you coming back? And I was like, oh, okay. Help me refocus. So like, that's our energy on the dance floor. It is magnetic. So much so that when we hit the floor, it was just me and him. And we covered the whole floor. Like he just spinning me around and he do his little hand gestures and touching me. And I know what I'm supposed to do. And we just out there getting it, gliding across the floor. It was the best. But no, I'm not overlooking anything. I got 25 years of this type of energy with him. And we link up and we enjoy each other and we enjoy each other and we enjoy each other. And then it just kind of falls off because he's a gypsy. His gypsy energy is just like, okay, that was fun. I got some other stuff to do. I'll be back later. And I'll be like, wait, what just happened? I wanted more. And it just be like, girl, bye. So no, I'm not overlooking anything. I have a clear picture of who we are. Clear. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not getting back into that boat with you. But I will hang out. So I will probably be hanging out with my friend this summer just to enjoy life a little bit. But it will always be in a safe space because I'm very aware of who I am and who he is. And so no. And plus, I'll say this. I want something different. I want something that I've never had. And I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what that feels like. And so to dwell in the reciprocal energy space that I've already experienced isn't what I want. And I know who he is and where he is in his life, right? Like he's about 8 years older than me. And he's just fun. But I just don't know, I don't know how responsible he is. I don't know how willing to be bored he is. I am a boring everyday. I'm not that energy. I don't do that every day. I can't live. Like I had to recuperate yesterday. I was in the bed all day. Girl, listen. I usually be in the bed by 8, 9 o'clock at night. I hung out with him till 2:30 in the morning. I was in the bed yesterday. I probably didn't get out the bed till like 5 o'clock. I had to recover. I can't do that every day. No, that's not who I am. Just because that energy exists within me, I can't live like that every day. And I know some older people that still can. I ain't built like that. That's not who I am anymore. And so I enjoy it for what it's worth at that moment. But no, it's not forever. It's not. Mm-mm. I want something different. And I want somebody who I don't think when I even look at my marriage, I really don't think I've ever had somebody that values me. I've experienced men who think I'm cute, right? Like that doesn't really do it for me just because you think I'm cute. Beyonce got cheated on. Halle Berry got cheated on. Cuteness means nothing in this world. Like that don't impress me because you think I'm cute. My cute ain't everybody's cute. So that doesn't matter to me. I know he likes me because I can hang out at hole in the walls, right? I'm highly educated, but I do hood shit. So he finds that very attractive. Like I can take you around regular people and you still cool. I am. But I'm not doing that every day either. I'm a bougie ass one. Like I got that bougie. That's for real. I like 4 or 5-star restaurants and hotels. Like that's in my nature. I'm not gonna be a regular at a hole in the wall. I'm not gonna do that either. Like they not gonna know my name. This ain't Cheers. I ain't Norm. I'm not doing none of that. So yeah, no, I'm not missing anything. OMG, that's what made my hubby stand out to me. He was genuinely caring. See, yeah, I haven't experienced that. I don't know anybody that has when I'm honest with myself. This one guy, I will say his representative was caring, but it wasn't really who he was. But his representative that he presented to me was. But like I've never really experienced somebody that just really cared about me as a human being and like my needs, and I could care back for them. I've cared about men before that didn't really care about me. It just is what it is. But never like to a level of my inner being, who I am as a human being. I have never experienced that. And I would like to, if it's meant for me to experience. And that's something else I told somebody. I told a good friend of mine that even if I leave this earth and I don't get that experience, I'm okay with that When people talk about some, you need to be married or why aren't you married? Every experience isn't for everybody. There are so many different experiences in this lifetime. There are things that you are not going to experience. Every woman does not get to experience childbirth, right? Like that's what adoption is for. And some women don't even want kids. Every person is not going to experience marriage. Every person doesn't have to go through drug abuse to know to stay away. Like, there are just experiences that we will not experience in our lifetime. The world is huge. People are different, right? That's what books are for. You read books. That's what you travel for. But you're not going to necessarily travel to all of the places, but you can read about them. You can learn through them about those experiences. And so if I don't experience that type of relationship, I know it exists. I got you. I got people in my life that I know that have had that. It just might not be meant for me. And I'm okay with that. Is it a goal? It is. But if it doesn't happen, it's cool. I'm cool with that. Okay, I'm stop talking to you. Beautiful. You on timeout. I'm timing you out. I'm gonna start. It's been an hour. OMG. I might not even get halfway through with what I thought I was gonna get through, but I'm gonna at least start. And if I can't make it, because I get sleepy after a while, because I done spent an hour of my energy talking to beautiful, then we'll put a pin in it and come back to it. All right. So this is role playing the many faces of the ego. An ego that wants something from another, and what ego doesn't, will usually play some kind of role to get its needs met. That's my friend the other day. That's Friday. Texted me yesterday. I know you thinking about me. I know you have fun. I know you want to call me and text me today. No, I don't. No. I did have a ball though. I left the whole evening, but we left it there. Be they material gain, a sense of power, superiority, or specialness, or some kind of gratification, be it physical or psychological. Usually people are completely unaware of the roles they play. They are those roles. Some roles are subtle, others are blatantly obvious, except to the person playing it. Some roles are designed simply to get attention from others. The ego thrives on others' attention, which is, after all, a form of physic energy. Or is it physic? Psychic? It's not psychic. It's physic. PSYCHIC. That might be psychic. That's psychic, I guess. When I think about psychic energy, I think about like people reading minds. The ego doesn't know that the source of all energy is within you, so it seeks it outside. It is not the formless attention, which is presence, that the ego seeks, but attention in some form, such as recognition, praise, admiration, or just to be noticed in some way, to have its existence acknowledged, to just get out the house, to go have a drink with a friend, to ballroom dance the night away. My ego was fed. A shy person who is afraid of the attention of others is not free of ego, but has an ambivalent ego that both wants and fears attention from others. The fear is that the attention may take the form of disapproval or criticism. That is to say, something that diminishes the sense of self rather than enhances it. So the shy person's fear of attention is greater than his or her need of attention. Shyness often goes with a self-concept that is predominantly negative, the belief of being inadequate. Any conceptual sense of self, seeing myself as this or that, is ego. Whether predominantly positive, I am the greatest, or negative, I am no good. I never thought about the ego of a person who doesn't have a lot of confidence, right? Like usually we think about people with egos as overconfident, just feeling yourself. I never would have correlated a person with low self-esteem as having a huge ego too. But I can see it now. Like I can see that shying away, seeing yourself as less than, that is your ego too. Instead of, because you're not just being, right? Being is kind of like the neutral place that we want to be as humans. Just be. Just be present. Just be here. Just be now. You're not controlling anything. You're just being. When you have a high self-esteem, that is your high ego. That is your I am the shit. And then I never thought low self-esteem. It brings you down a peg. And it says, I'm not worthy. That's ego too. Oh, I just learned something, y'all. Behind every positive self-concept is the hidden fear of not being good enough. Behind every negative self-concept is the hidden desire of being the greatest or better than others. Behind the confident ego's feeling of and continuing need for superiority is the unconscious fear of inferiority. Conversely, the shy, inadequate ego that feels inferior has a strong hidden desire for superiority. Many people fluctuate between feelings of inferiority and superiority, depending on situations or the people they come into contact with. All you need to know and observe in yourself is this: whenever you feel superior or inferior to anyone, that is the ego in you. Who'da thunk? I love learning, y'all. That is so amazing to me. Whenever you feel superior or inferior to anyone, that is your ego. So don't think your humility or shying away is you being better than somebody. It's the same energy. Oh, villain, victim, lover. Some egos, if they cannot get praise or admiration, will settle for other forms of attention and play roles to elicit them. If they cannot get positive attention, they may seek negative attention instead. For example, by provoking a negative reaction in someone else. Some children already do that too. They misbehave to get attention. When children misbehave, they are communicating. When children misbehave, they are saying something. Listen to them. Find out the why. That is, and this is just my experience in education. I never thought kids were bad in class just because. I always knew they were saying something in the only way that they could speak, right? They don't have all of the skills to just say the things. They speak from different spaces. Sometimes they will draw pictures. Sometimes they can write. Sometimes they just act out because that's all they got. Something has triggered them. That is a form of communication. Don't think kids are being bad just to be bad, y'all. Find out the why. Your children are misbehaving because it's a reason. The playing of negative roles becomes particularly pronounced whenever the ego is magnified by an active pain body. That is to say, emotional pain from the past that wants to renew itself through experiencing more pain, which is why I left the ballroom, in the ballroom, in the bar, on the floor. There is also a cycle between he and I call it when I get into my feelings. When I get into my feelings, it causes me pain. There is something happening that I get into my feelings about what is happening between us. And that is a cycle that he and I have as well. So as I am happy about the happy parts of our 25 years of knowing each other, I also realize it brings me pain as well. And I choose me. I choose me in this part of life. I understand our experiences together, and I choose me. Some egos perpetuate crimes in their search for fame. They seek attention through notoriety and other people's condemnation. Please tell me that I exist, that I am not insignificant, they seem to say. Such pathological forms of ego are only more extreme versions of normal egos. A very common role is the one of victim. That's why I have to choose me, because I can't be a victim. especially when I know the story and I've read it several times and experienced it. I'm not a victim. When women talk about, I can't believe he did this to me, and you've been in a relationship with this man for how many years? How long? And he been doing this to you the same way all the time? Sis, that's you. You're not a victim. You chose this life. No. Good morning, astute Queen Bee. Good morning. Thank you for being here. A very common role is the one of victim, and the form of attention it seeks is sympathy or pity or from others, interest in my problems, me and my story. Seeing oneself as a victim is an element in many egoic patterns, such as complaining, being offended, outraged, and so on. Of course, once I am identified with a story in which I assign myself the role of victim, I don't want it to end. And so, as every therapist knows, the ego does not want an end to its problems because they are part of its identity. If no one will listen to my sad story, I can tell it to myself in my head over and over and over. And then I can feel sorry for myself. And so that's my identity because that makes me a victim, someone who is being treated unfairly by life or other people, or it's just God's fate for me, right? It gives definition to my self-image. It makes me into someone. And that is all that matters to the ego, even if that someone is a victim, even if that someone could have done better, but chooses not to. Me, me, me. Oh, poor me. Why do people treat me so badly? Because you don't have standards. Because you let your ego get in the way. Because you enjoy that pain body. And we don't like to say that. But there are a lot of us. I can't speak for men. I'm speaking for women in general. Not just Black women, but just women. We enjoy pain. We enjoy abusive relationships, mentally abusive, physically abusive, verbally abusive, spiritually abusive. We do. And then we become the victim and we go cry to our friends, the ones that will still listen to us, because some of them have wised up. Like, girl, you can't, girl, we've been friends for 30 years and you still singing the same story from 29 years ago. Why? No, you can't keep talking to me about that because you know better. So since you know better, do better. Flat out. We doing good over here. You missed we had an hour-long conversation with Stu just about life. Yes, please hit the like button, people. All right, let's keep going. In the early stages of many so-called romantic relationships, role playing, I said that earlier, the representative role playing is quite common in order to attract and keep whoever is perceived by the ego as the one who is going to make me happy, make me feel special, and fulfill all my needs. I'll play who you want me to be. I'll be that representative for you. And you'll play who I want you to be. You like ballroom dancing? Let's go. You like to have drinks every now and then? Let's go. Because our representatives can show up in short amount of times. We don't have to be this all the time. That's the unspoken and unconscious agreement. However, role playing is hard work. And so those roles cannot be sustained indefinitely. That's that cycle that I know exists. Have fun, do all the things, let that energy energize itself. And then consistency doesn't exist. And then I want more. And you can't give me more because you're a gypsy. Your energy is still over here. And now I need to be bored for a couple weeks because I got a lot of work to do. I can't hang out. You know the cycle. You know the story. You've read the book several times. It's the same. It doesn't change. It's just evolved into older age. That's all. It's the same energy though. However, role playing is hard work, and so those roles cannot be sustained indefinitely, especially once you start living together. Ooh wee. When those roles slip, what do you see? Unfortunately, in most cases, not yet the true essence of that being, but that which covers up the true essence, the raw ego divested of its roles with its pain body and its thwarted wanting, which now turns into anger, most likely directed at the spouse or partner for having failed to remove the underlying fear and sense of lack that is an intrinsic part of the egoic sense of self. I went through that with my ex-husband. I didn't know until we got married. I could have known, I should have known, but I wasn't that aware. I wasn't in my being part of life yet. I was getting there, but I wasn't there. But child, when we started living together, because we didn't live together before we got married, I was like, who is this person that I married? I didn't know all this stuff. And he probably said the same thing about me. I never ever want y'all to reside in the one-sided view of life. That's not fair. When you're in mess, you're part of the mess too. You can't just point fingers at other people. You got to see yourself as part of the problem too. It wasn't just him. It was both of us. Our energies, and to this day, our energies don't reside in the same space together. I told you, I moved past it. I've forgiven him. I forgive myself. I can tell his energy is still mad at me. He'd be so uncomfortable in my presence. I just be like, boy, let it go. It's over. This boy, our baby is grown. Let it go. It's okay. We can be cordial with each other. I ain't gonna say nothing bad to you, but I know it's hard for you not to say nothing bad to me, but whatever. I'm normally still sleeping, so I always miss both of you ladies in the morning since I'm out of work, but I do catch the replays. Thank you. Thank you, Astute. Yeah, I'm up. I am an up early, crack of the dawn type of get on here early before the streets get hot content creator. All right. What is commonly called falling in love is in most cases an intensification of egoic wanting and needing. You become addicted to another person. Guilty, or rather to your image of that person. Ooh, wee. It has nothing to do with true love. I learned that. I didn't know it though, but I learned that. Which contains no wanting whatsoever. Let me read that again. It has nothing to do with true love, which contains no wanting whatsoever. True love is. True love doesn't want. True love just is. It is being in pure form. It just is. It is peace beyond measure. That I know for sure. I don't even need to look at the words on the book. True love, the love that I have for my family, it just is. The love that my children have taught me, it just is. I told my son, there is nothing you can do that will stop me from loving you. You don't have to be anything other than who you are. He was like, well, what if I did this or did that? When I tell you nothing, I mean nothing. Nothing. There's nothing you can do that will stop this love that I have for you. And I want to feel like that about a relationship with a man. I've never experienced that. And that is what I want. And if I can't have that at this old age, I don't want nothing else. I don't want nothing else. I've had a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm good with that. I want something that I've never experienced before. This part of life is about new experiences, understanding exactly who I am, understanding the things that I've grown through, and not repeating patterns. And that's what the night out the other day represents to me. It represents a test. It represented, yes, I love that energy. I needed that energy. I needed to tap into that energy, but it was also a test. Are you going to pass this test this time, girl? Because every time you get here with him, you fall short. What you going to do this time? We passed. We passed the test. And that might help me grow into this new experience that I've never had. We'll see. Men are like children once you break up with them. Child, listen, you got to talk bad about me on the playground and get all the kids to want to dislike me because I divorced you. That's crazy to me. Stop it. Me either, sis. I feel you on that. All right, let's keep going. The Spanish language is the most honest in regard to conventional notions of love. Te quiero means I want you, as well as I love you. The other expression for I love you, te amo, which does not have this ambiguity, is rarely used, perhaps because true love is just as rare. Letting go of self-definitions. As tribal cultures developed into the ancient civilizations, certain functions began to be allotted to certain people: ruler, priest or priestess, warrior, farmer, merchant, craftsman, laborer, and so on. A class system developed. Your function, which in most cases you were born into, determined your identity, determined who you were in the eyes of others as well as in your own eyes. Your function became a role, but it wasn't recognized as a role. It was who you were or thought you were. Only rare beings at the time, such as the Buddha or Jesus, saw the ultimate irrelevance of caste or social class, recognized it as identification with form, and saw that such identification with the conditioned and the temporal obscured the light of the unconditioned and eternal that shines in each human being. I think about how we caste system like jobs and hierarchy ourselves in society. Like everybody, all not all, but most people want to be rappers, or they want to play sports, or you want to have this really great career, and you look down on people who are working at your McDonald's or cleaning up your bathrooms. We still live in a very caste like society, right? And we assign titles to people in different positions to make ourselves feel better, to inflate our own egos. Once you remove yourself, you really can treat other humans with the same respect. I have learned to respect everybody on every level. We all need each other. You need people to do certain jobs, because if you don't have people who are willing to cut the grass, or you don't have people who are willing to work at restaurants, or you don't have people who are willing to clean up bathrooms, or you don't have people who are willing to be nurses or doctors or lawyers, we are all here to do the work in this time. We are no better, no greater, and no lesser than anybody else because of our position in society. It is all temporal and temporary. We are humans. That is our humanness. And the beingness means we are all at the same level. We are all right here at the same space, at the same phase. Just because I got money or position does not make me better than anybody else. It does not make me better than that homeless man, because I don't know his story. I don't know what he went through. He might choose to live on the street, because of the life that he's led. That could be his choice. Who am I to judge other people's choices? I told a friend of mine the other day, she's highly educated. She already has her PhD, and I respect her gangster. I told her that a part of my energy, I love listening to men talk. Like, it does something for me. And I have a channel on YouTube, and he is a pimp, a PIMP. And I listened to him. And she was like, oh my God, how do you listen to that? I said, because I don't judge people. Who am I to judge a pimp? Who am I to judge a woman who wants to be a hoe and wants to give her money to him? That is who she is. They exist. They've existed since the Bible days, right? Like, it's not new. This is not something that was just created in our lifetime. So who am I to judge that woman? Who am I to judge that man? That is who God created her to be with. If she wants to give all her money to him for whatever their relationship looks like, that's her choice. She might choose to stay there. She might not. But at this moment in this time, I am no better or no worse than her. And she just looked at me like, you really are different. And I'm like, it's not necessarily me even trying to be different. I just want to be. And when I am being, I can't judge other people for living their life. I cannot. That is for God to do. I don't have a heaven or a hell to put nobody in, because we're all sinners. We just sin differently. My sins are no greater or no less than anybody else's. And there is wisdom to be gained from every space in life. That what we call a bum on a corner, I would love to sit and listen to that story. I'm sure there is something in that story that can feed a part of me that needs that wisdom. When I listen to these pimps, or to that, I don't listen to a lot of them, to that pimp, I don't necessarily understand that life, but there are parts of that life that directly correlate to my square life. It is just about making connections and making understandings of, we all got stuff. We all got rules and regulations. We all got standards of life that we must live and abide by. And so your standard for being your pimp, your pimping, and for her hoeing, it might not be something that I'm looking to do, but I look at standards and be like, oh, if this is what you require from this woman to be a part of your life, this is what I require for a man to be a part of my life. I can create standards because now I understand yours. And so I want to have standards for how I interact with men. I know what you look for from a woman. I can still be a woman and not be a hoe, and still have standards of what I want to attract, the energy that I need in my life. So I can have temporal energy around me, but I want some permanent energy in my space at this point in my life. Astute says, I'm dealing with that. My ex, he won't go away. Well, you got to make him go away, Astute. You can't let him keep coming back and forth, forth and forth. In my Aaliyah voice that I really don't have. Amen. No man or woman is above the next. Not at all. You can have an opinion, but only God can judge. Flat out. Period. We don't have heavens. When people tell you that I'm damning you to hell, you can't. God didn't give you that authority. And whatever hell I'm going to, you going with me. How dare you? I am God's child, not yours. You can't, girl, child, please. Stop it. A lot of homeless people are vets. They are. And they got a story to tell because they did all of that. They sacrificed their lives for this country. And this system, because, I really do focus on systems. This system that we live in, this capitalistic society that we live in, don't give a damn. And that's sad. That's the saddest part, because they could care more. Being tolerant of another's process. Yes. You can't judge people for where they are. Can you imagine Malcolm X being judged when he was a pimp? Let's talk about it. If we're going to talk about it, like everybody out here judging R. Kelly, I can't listen to R. Kelly no more because he did all that stuff. R. Kelly is still on my playlist. Girl, stop. There are so many human beings, their flaws that don't get televised, that we look up to, we idolize, and we worship. But if you only knew about that closet that they closed and them skeletons that's in there that you can't see, that they ain't gonna let come out, that they've covered up, you will be surprised. Are y'all gonna stop listening to Michael Jackson? Do y'all not, if you of a certain age and or right, are you gonna let Elvis go? You gonna let Jay-Z go? You know what I'm saying? Like, stop. Just stop. Judgment is not for me. It's not. And I understand if you can't listen to Kels no more, do you? It's some songs I can't listen to knowing what I know now, but I'm not erasing him off my playlist in its entirety. He is part of my teens, 20s. That's part of the fabric of who I am. Child, please. Now, if he got out, would I go to a concert? Nope. I would not. But he got some music. Like, he was a musical genius. You can't take that away from him. He was who he was. Is he a convict now? Is he doing his time? He is. So why are we still holding him to a standard when he's paying the price for all the things that he did? Just saying. That's just me though, right? Like, I get it. Trust, I let go of him over a year ago. He just won't go away. Then you better go away. You gotta evolve. You gotta change your phone number. You gotta block him. You might have to move a stoop. I can't do Robert no more. A lot of people that do sick stuff. Yeah, I don't dwell in his behaviors. I like his music. Some of it, again, some of it I can't listen to still, but I'm not gonna just erase him from my playlist. I'm not. He still exists. I still watch episodes of the Cosby Show. And guess what? If you erase R. Kelly, do you erase the artist that he wrote music for? Like, at what point do we just like when does it stop, right? So if you can't listen to his music, can you listen to the music that he wrote for other people? Is that your standard? If you can't listen to the music that he wrote for other people, can you listen to collaborations? Like, you might not have a playlist no more if you got to get rid of all the people who've done terrible things. You might not be able to listen to music in general because we got people who lie to us. Are you able to listen to their music? Who deceive us? Do we have to get rid of their music? Because that's all sins too, right? It's all sins. It's all a mess. It is. But I'm not judging at all. I don't judge. All right, let's keep going. I still got some energy, y'all. I'm going to get through as much as I can. I had a certain space I was going to stop at, so we'll see if I make it there. Okay. In our contemporary world, the social structures are less rigid, less clearly defined than they used to be. Although most people are, of course, still conditioned by their environment, they are no longer automatically assigned a function and with it an identity. In fact, in the modern world, more and more people are confused as to where they fit in, what their purpose is, and even who they are. Well, that's because society wants us to define all those things. So, yeah. Easier said than done now because I don't have a car anymore. Oh, you can't run away. You got rid of a lot of music. It happens. I get it. And I think at first when the R. Kelly stuff came out, I went that like drastic route. Like, I can't listen to him no more. And then as I kind of grew in over these last few years and my nowness and just being, I was like, who am I to judge? He's been judged. The jury has judged him. He's locked up. He's paying the price. I like music. I like all kinds of music. I will not deny myself good music based on somebody's behavior. I'm just not. He's doing his time. Done. I usually congratulate people when they tell me, I don't know who I am anymore. Then they look perplexed and ask, are you saying it is a good thing for me to be confused? I ask them to investigate. What does it mean to be confused? I don't know. It's not confusion. Confusion is, I don't know, but I should know. Or, I don't know, but I need to know. Is it possible to let go of the belief that you should or need to know who you are? Because literally, we are all trying to figure out, who am I? Wow. I got a bunch of thoughts going through my head, y'all. In other words, can you cease looking to conceptual definitions to give you a sense of self? This reminds me of, like, as human beings, we like to put everything into a category. Well, why did this person do that? Well, how did that happen? I need to understand. I don't understand. One of the things that I'm learning as an administrator, everything ain't for you to understand. Some things just are. Let things be. Stop trying to control the world. That is a part of our ego, wanting to control the outcome, wanting to control the narrative. We're built like that as a society. We want to understand all of the things. Some things are not for you to understand. Some things just are. Let things be. Can you cease looking to thought for an identity? When you let go of the belief that you should or need to know who you are, what happens to confusion? Suddenly it is gone. When you fully accept that you don't know, you actually enter a state of peace and clarity that is closer to who you truly are than thought could ever be. Defining yourself through thought is limiting yourself. All right, I think I'm going to read this last one. What? I'm going to do two. I'm going to read these last two and then I'm going to go because we're almost at 2 hours. I don't want to do over 2 hours. I guess because I know what certain songs came from. Yeah, very simple to me with most people. All right, pre-established roles. Of course, different people fulfill different functions in this world. It cannot be otherwise. As far as intellectual or physical abilities are concerned, knowledge, skills, talent, and energy levels, human beings differ wildly. What really matters is not what function you fulfill in this world, but whether you identify with your function to such an extent that it takes you over and becomes a role that you play. When you play roles, you are unconscious. When you catch yourself playing a role, that recognition creates a space between you and the role. It is the beginning of freedom from the role. When you are completely identified with a role, you confuse a pattern of behavior with who you are, and you take yourself very seriously. You also automatically assign roles to others that correspond to yours. For example, when you visit doctors who are totally identified with their role, to them, you will not be a human being, but a patient or a case history. Although the social structures in the contemporary world are less rigid than in ancient cultures, there are still many pre-established functions or roles that people readily identify with and which thus become part of the ego. This causes human interactions to become inauthentic, dehumanized, and alienating. Those pre-established roles may give you a somewhat comforting sense of identity, but ultimately you lose yourself in them. The functions people have in hierarchical, that's a hard word for me to say, organizations such as the military, the church, a government institution, or a large corporation. Pretty much our whole structure of society is set up like that. It is just a hierarchical society that we live in. It is still a caste system in general. Easily lend themselves to becoming role identifiers. Authentic human interactions become impossible when you lose yourself in a role. Some pre-established roles we could call social archetypes. To mention just a few, the middle-class housewife, not as prevalent as it used to be, but still widespread. The tough macho male. On YouTube, it's what? The alpha male? Whatever that thing is. And what do they want? They want a submissive, whatever that is. The female seductress, the nonconformist, artist or performer, a person of culture. What do we call them on YouTube? The not the awakened. Oh, I can't think of the word for them. Them brother polite people. Who are they? What do you call them? I can't think of it. I'm gonna think of it. A person of culture, a role quite common in Europe, who displays a knowledge of literature, fine art, and music in the same way as others might display an expensive dress or car. And then there is the universal role of adult. When you play that role, you take yourself in life very seriously. Maybe that's why I'm still a big kid. Maybe that's why my brother told me I need to grow up, because I really don't take myself that seriously, child. Like, it's just, I learn from children every single day. I am not going to be a good administrator, a good teacher. I'm not going to be a good system employee in the public schools if I don't let children teach me something. You're just not. If you're a grown up who thinks you're so much better than these kids and your staff, you got a lot to learn about life and about human beingness. Child, you just do. What is the word that we call those people? Not the enlightened. I can't think of the word we call them. Okay, we got the manosphere. We got the alpha males. We got the submissive people. What are these woke people? What we call I cannot think of this name. It's driving me. It's like right here. I know this name. Like the Black Israelites and all of them. What do we call them though? It's a name that we call them. I'm about to be mad if I can't think of it. It's going to drive me crazy. And as soon as I end this live, I'm going to think of it. I'm putting in the comments. Spontaneity, lightheartedness, and joy are not part of that role. That's why I allowed myself to go hang out the other day. I needed to get out of my role of responsible. I needed to not just let my hair down. I needed to live. I just needed to live. The hippie movement that organized on the west coast of the United States in the 1960s and then spread throughout the Western world came out of many young people's rejection of social archetypes of roles, of pre-established patterns of behavior, as well as egoically based social and economic structures. They refused to play the roles their parents and society wanted to impose on them. I'm guilty. That's why I have had many careers, because I just was not about to be all the things that my mama, society, I wanted to do whatever I wanted to do. And in my older age, I still do to a degree. I'm still a little wild child at heart, but I'm responsible. I'm a whole grown up, but I'm a mess too. I'm a big kid. I don't think about that situation. I forgot what situation we talking about. Astute child. I'd have been a whole bunch of places. All right, let me keep going. Significantly, it coincided with the horrors of the Vietnam War, in which more than 57,000 young Americans and 3 million Vietnamese died, and through which the insanity of the system and the underlying mindset was exposed for all to see. Whereas in the 1950s, most Americans were still extremely conformist in thought and behavior. In the 1960s, millions of people began to withdraw their identification with the collective conceptual identity because the insanity of the collective was so obvious. The hippie movement represented a loosening of the hetero-rigid economic egoic structures in the psyche of humanity. And that's about when I was born. Literally. I am born of that movement. The movement itself degenerated and came to an end, but it left behind an opening. And not just in those who were part of the movement, this made it possible for ancient Eastern wisdom and spirituality to move west and play an essential part in the awakening of global consciousness. Oh, the alpha male stuff, half of listen, they are so full of it. They have no clue. But it sells on YouTube. It gets clicks and views on YouTube's. My only concern is the young men that are buying into that fool la la. They're going to have a rude awakening when they get off of YouTube and get into the real world with the fool la la, that these coaches and all of that. But it is, what is the other group? It's the alpha males. It's driving me crazy. I can't think of it. Anyway, whatever this group is, it is reminiscent of like the uber educated Black Panther type 2023 person who is just about not conforming. Like not conforming to anything, and we doing our own thing in Black society and Black culture, and we're extra like I can't think of the name. It's a name that they have. I can't think of it though, child, because I don't dwell in those spaces very often at all. All right, I am going to do temporary roles, and then I am going to leave because I got some things to do, and then I'll do part 2. So I did not get to all of the things that I wanted to get to today, but I'm gonna do temporary roles, and then I'm gonna sign out for today. If you are awake enough, aware enough to be able to observe how you interact with other people, you may detect subtle changes in your speech, attitude, and behavior depending on the person you are interacting with. At first, it may be easier to observe this in others. Then you may also detect it in yourself. The way in which you speak to the chairman of the company may be different in subtle ways from how you speak to the janitor. How you speak to a child may be different from how you speak to an adult. Why is this? You are playing roles. You are not yourself, neither with the chairman nor with the janitor or the child. When you walk into a store to buy something, when you go to a restaurant, the bank, the post office, you may find yourself slipping into pre-established social roles. You become a customer and speak and act as such. You may be treated by the salesperson or waiter who is also playing a role as a customer. A range of conditioned patterns of behavior come into effect between two human beings that determine the nature of the interaction. Instead of human beings, conceptual mental images are interacting with each other. The more identified people are with their respective roles, the more inauthentic the relationship becomes. You have a mental image not only of who the other person is, but also of who you are, especially in relation to the person you are interacting with. So you are not relating with that person at all, but who you think you are is relating to who you think the other person is, and vice versa. The conceptual image your mind has made of yourself is relating to its own creation, which is the conceptual image it has made of the other person. The other person's mind has probably done the same. So every egoic interaction between two people is in reality the interaction between four conceptual mind made identities that are ultimately fictions. It is therefore not surprising there is so much conflict in relationships. There is no true relationship. So instead of two people meeting each other, four or more have met each other because your representatives are meeting inside of the true you that exists. And those representatives can evolve or change depending on the person or the situation. I can see that clearly. I can see that clearly now. All right, so I am going to stop right here. We are going to pick up from here, which is chapter 4, role playing the many faces of the ego. And when I come back, we are going to pick up with the monk and sweaty palms. I have no idea what he's going to talk about with the monk and sweaty palms. And since I didn't finish it today, I am going to hopefully finish out this chapter next time. I'm going to have to come earlier. So beautiful Shalom ain't here throwing me off track from reading. Thank you all for tuning in today. I appreciate it. I appreciate you for being here. I love you all. I want you to have a blessed Sunday. Have a blessed week. Enjoy yourself. Just be. Don't worry about roles, egos. Just be. Allow other humans to just be and accept them from who they are and understand energy, understand your space, and give other people grace to just be. I love you all. Bye.